All right, so I won't dwell too long on the program for today. Um, but I want to leave as much time for Q&A with our alumni guest as possible. To run you through what to expect, I'm going to spend the first sort of 15 minutes introducing UCL and our faculty. I'll also provide some information on how to apply, addressing some of our key frequently asked questions from prospective students like yourselves. And I'll then move on to the main event, which is a presentation by our alumni speaker. Shivangi will be sharing insights from her UCL journey and what she's gone to do next. We'll then finish with a Q&A. And as I said, please do direct your questions to Shivangi in the Q&A box below, and let us know who you are if you would like to include your name. So a little bit on about UCL. I'm going to be talking to you about the UCL advantage and the position of engineering within the wider institution. So UCL is very proud to be consistently ranked among the world's top universities, featuring in the top 10 since 2013. These rankings really matter, and they mean we attract some of the best minds in the world to teach as educators and to study with us as students. They also give our graduates a competitive advantage. Graduating from a prestigious university helps you in the job market, especially in fields where reputation is particularly important. And they show our strength in building partnerships, both with other universities and with businesses and industry who we work with closely to apply our research. You can also see from this list that quite how diverse we are in our program portfolio, student, staff, and alumni community, and in the activities you can get involved with outside of your studies, which I will come on to a little bit later. So when you consider joining UCL, you're taking a step to be part of more than just simply a place of study. So our world-renowned institution has been challenging conventions since its founding in 1826 and is still today committed to impacting, inspiring, and moving the world forward. As you can see from the list of accolades here, we are a large and diverse place. We're known for world-class research, global influence, and a diverse staff and student body. We're also home to many centres of teaching excellence in many subjects, including medicine, languages, law, history, astrophysics, and of course, engineering. UCL is known for its progressive history, including being the first university in England to welcome students of any religion and social background, to welcome women to university education, to have a fully open access university press, and to teach subjects such as English, German, chemistry, and of course, engineering. We're also particularly proud to say that the number of Nobel Prize winners has recently risen from 30 to 32 all in the last month, both for AI pioneers, Demis Hassabis and Professor Geoffrey Hinton, who both have very close ties to our faculty. We're proud to be London's global university. We're truly universal and have partnerships with institutions worldwide. But in addition to our richly diverse current staff and student communities, we have close to 500,000 UCL alumni living all over the world, like Shivangi, who is joining us today. The UCL advantage continues long after you graduate. We continue to connect with our alumni through news updates, events, and opportunities like free journal access and lifelong learning opportunities. We're also delighted to see our alumni where they are now based all around the world for a range of social events and meetups. In November, for example, we hosted exclusive free alumni events on the west coast of the United States and in Indonesia, which were attended by engineering colleagues. Now, coming to UCL Engineering, our faculty, we have an almost 200-year history as a founding feature at UCL. We're home to 10 departments and a huge portfolio of undergraduate and postgraduate programs. While we're one of 11 faculties at UCL, we represent around a fifth of UCL's student numbers and a fifth of the research power for the institution. Research power is basically how we calculate in the UK government the volume of research multiplied by its impact and quality to show that we're not just doing lots, we're doing really high quality and impactful work. And just like UCL, we're a rich and diverse community. This is our range of departments here. There are 10 of them. We all have one thing in common. We're combining academic rigor with innovation and practicality, all with the aim of finding solutions to the world's biggest problems. We also understand that you don't do engineering in a vacuum here at UCL. You need to be able to cross those disciplinary backgrounds and work with experts across a broad range of specialisms to affect change. This drives us both. This drives our progressive pedagogical approach, but also our multidisciplinary structure. As a faculty, you can see here we represent some of the usual suspects within engineering, so civil, mechanical, electrical, but we're also proud to combine these subject areas alongside things you may not necessarily expect to see listed in engineering. Management, our engineering and policy department, steep, and security and crime science. We're proud to champion this uniquely multidisciplinary approach, bringing engineering challenges and other subject areas from across UCL together as well. Now, being part of the UCL community is inspiring and life-changing in many ways, not just academically. London and our student life have an awful lot to offer as well. This map shows where our main two campuses are based. Just bring up UCL East there. Bloomsbury on the left and UCL East in the corner on the right. The pink dots are UCL accommodation and the blue are UCL campus buildings and facilities. Our accommodation services team is also able to support students with alternative accommodation, such as renting privately or via University of London housing services. But this really gives you an insight into how close you could be living to campus and to where the action is at. UCL Students' Union has over 400 clubs and societies, so there's always an opportunity to pick up a new hobby or to meet new people. Engineering-specific societies include the Fleming Society, UCL Racing, we've got an Artificial Intelligence Society and a Healthcare Innovation Society, and just so many more. The union also provides sports, fitness, and entertainment facilities at discounted prices, and you can also get involved in representing Team UCL socially and competitively. And finally, the union also provides support, advice, and wellbeing support in case you find yourself struggling. We have a team of wellbeing, disability, and mental health experts on hand at UCL student support and wellbeing at all times. Equality, diversity, inclusion are really fundamental to the ethos of UCL, and we encourage open-mindedness, not just in your social life and your daily lives, but also in the way that we teach. You learn how to think, not what to think with us, and you'll have fun meeting other students who want to have that experience too. And finally, I just wanted to mention that we also have a dedicated career service that serves students during their studies, but also in the 3 years after graduation through events, one-to-one guidance and resources. The careers team at UCL help you to get internships, jobs, but they are also there to support you to upskill and showcase your skills more effectively via things like your CV or resume workshops. The career service is open to people regardless of their program or faculty, but I wanted to share some highlights here from across UCL. So what's really interesting here to me was how many employers we work with to get our student jobs, with this over 700 attending UCL careers events every year. Coming into fairs and events on campus, doing talks, and how many vacancies they then advertise directly to our students. So coming on now to how to apply. I've given a lot of information on the slide, so I won't read through it all, but talk more broadly about some of our frequently asked questions we receive from prospective students. So firstly, in terms of personal statements, our advice to applicants usually covers 3 key topics. So what about your background and your previous experience makes you suitable for this specific program? What is it in particular about this course and UCL that interests you? Look particularly at the prospectus pages. Are there modules, are there academics that you're particularly looking forward to working on or working with? And then finally, how would taking this course help you with your future plans and your career aspirations? Our academic departments want to get a sense of your passion for and understanding for their subject area to make sure that you'd fit in with this very intensive learning experience and a really, really engaged crowd of people. When you should apply is also another question that we get. As you'll see here, for those requiring a visa, your deadlines will usually be April and June, although that depends on the programme, and you should visit the prospectus for the specific dates. And it's 29th of August for those not needing a visa, as this reduces processing times. Importantly, though, we encourage prospective applicants to apply as early as they can. Admissions at UCL are done on a rolling basis, so we will assess and issue decisions to applications as they come in. Now, that means that if you apply later, there may be fewer places to be considered for. And in some cases, with very popular courses, we may close them earlier if they become full. And from an applicant's perspective, I'd always say it's better and less stressful to get things sorted in good time. Funding is another question that we get. There are different kinds of funding available to UCL prospective students. There are scholarships, bursaries, and awards. Some of these are small contributions to studies, others may cover full or half fees. Please note you can also apply for some smaller awards in studies, so once you arrive and have started at UCL. If there's nothing available to you at UCL institutional level, you can also search on your relevant department or programme prospective pages for alternatives. And we'd also advise that you look for companies, charities, and organisations that give financial support to current students based on their degree of study or specific circumstances, be that financial or academic. I would also note that the information on the UCL scholarship site on that QR code is currently listing the 2024 deadlines. We're expecting the update for 2025 deadlines to come very soon. Today is one of a number of virtual and in-person open events that we'll be running over the next few months so that you can join us to hear more about our range of programmes. In January, we're running a series of open events where departments will present their master's programme offerings. Events will take place mostly online and at different times of day to suit your time zone, so do have a look at those on the website. They're available on the UCL Engineering events pages. And we'd also like to invite you along to join us on campus for those who are in the UK or able to get to the UK on Saturday, the 25th of January, to see both our Canary Wharf facilities for the School of Management, but primarily our Bloomsbury campus in the centre of London. There you'll be able to speak to our staff and students, enjoy tasteful lectures, demos and tours. This will be followed by an evening dedicated to programmes that are based over at our UCL East campus, which will take place on Wednesday, the 12th of February. And without further ado, I will pass over to the main event. So Shivangi, are you available to join the presentation now? Shivangi's had some travel issues and is joining us from the airport, which is serious dedication.
Yes, I've just checked in. I'm all good. I hope you all can see me.
We can see you, yeah, thanks. So Shivangi is completed her master's with us in information security in 2022 and currently works in a luxury retail company in a digital capacity. So I will pass over to you, and would be great to hear more about your experience of UCL, anything you can advise on applications, and where your career has taken you since leaving.
Of course, 100%. So first of all, hi everyone. I really apologize for the noise in the background, but I've had some terrible flight situations today. I'm in India on a work trip, and the weather here is horrid, so it's just been a bit of a mess. But I've made it, and I'm here to talk to you. So thank you, Lucy, for the lovely introduction. My name is Shivangi Seth, and I did my master's from UCL in 2021-2022 in information security. I'm a 26-year-old Indian, born and brought up in Dubai. So I've lived my whole life in the Middle East. And then I went to UCL for my master's. The decision to do a master's stems from a lot of different factors. You may want to do a master's in something because you want to further advance your career. It's a stepping stone to move into a more senior position or role. You may want to do a master's because you feel like you want to change careers, or you want to do something different from what you studied at the undergraduate level. It might just be something you want to do because you want to get an additional feather in your cap. So the decision for me to do my master's was basically I wanted to specialize in something. Coming from a computer science background, I wanted to do something a little more people-centric, a little more data-centric, and information security sort of encompassed that element of it. Why UCL? So when I was looking at my master's applications during a global pandemic, you looked at options across the world, Australia, UK, US, and UCL as a school, as a program, as a faculty, as a city in London, all stood out to me. So when I started looking at different colleges and different programs, with a lot of research, I narrowed down in a few of them. The reason I picked UCL personally was because it's based in London. London is the only city in the world that has ever stolen my heart. You will be studying in one of the busiest, one of the liveliest cities in the world. You will have access to anything and everything. There's something for every single person to do. If you're interested in food and health, you have a lot of cafes, restaurants. If you're interested in history, you have museums. Your college campus is based in Houston, and all you have to do is walk from one building to another. UCL is spread over 200 buildings, and it's just it was the reason, one of the big factors that drew me to UCL. The other big factor that drew me to UCL was the faculty. When I was looking at the different professors who would be teaching the different modules, UCL had a faculty from multiple different nationalities covering many, many different research areas and just within the same discipline. The way the course was structured was you had to do 4 modules in the first semester, 4 modules in the second semester, and your dissertation or your research in your final semester. Even within such a niche discipline or a niche master's, there was still such a wide range of expertise, wide range of opportunities, and wide range of people that you could learn from. So let's backtrack a little bit and let's talk about application or life before UCL, life during UCL, and life after UCL. So when we look at life before UCL, application process is always an extremely stressful time. You'll open the websites, you will see all the requirements. Lucy has already walked you through them. My advice over here is start early. The earlier you start, the better you are to handle anything that may go wrong or any unexpected situation that may arise. When you ask for letters of recommendation, I went with an approach where I got 1 academic reference from my undergraduate professor and 1 professional letter of recommendation from my current manager at work. I tried to tell them to be as personal as they can because we don't really want generic things, but specific skill sets or specific abilities, soft skills included, that stood out. On the UCL website, it said GRE highly recommended, but not mandatory for my course. So I studied for the GRE as well. I took the exam, I uploaded the scores, and no one has to really complete the application process in 1 day. You can take as long as you need to complete it. You can go in, upload your documents today, wait, continue tomorrow, wait, and do it gradually over time. Because UCL works on a rolling admission basis, you may hear back sooner rather than later. There is no advantage or disadvantage by applying earlier or later. It's just once you're done, you can actually breathe a sigh of relief and you can start your clock that in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I will hear back. When it comes to the essay component of UCL, again, try and stay away from generic stuff. Try to keep it as personal as possible, talking about your experiences, why you want to study this particular program, why UCL, showing the admissions officers that you have actually done your due diligence and you are coming here with a purpose. It needs to be you. It shouldn't be that there are 3 people with extremely similar essays, because what personality and what unique charm can you add to this? That is the most critical section, in my opinion. And in my case, I started with draft. I would go back to it every couple of days, make a few edits, rework certain things till it flowed and till it gave the impression to the reader at the opposite end that this is me. This is who I am. This is what I'm passionate about. And this is why I want to study information security at UCL. Once your application is submitted, you just have to wait. And I promise you, the wait will feel terribly long. Like someone like me who's very nervous, very anxious, I would go onto the portal to see if there's any update on my application every few days. Don't do that. It's not helpful. When there is an update, you'll get a lovely email on your personal account saying that you have a decision. I got my UCL decision when I was at the airport. And I remember just walking, seeing the email, logging in. And I still today, more than like 3 years into the future, I still can't describe that feeling. It's like all these months of hard work, all these years of hard work finally made it. I'm in. And once that sinks in, you can actually start planning for life at UCL. You have the visa process in my case, which takes a bit of time, but the visa team is extremely helpful. I have contacted them with the silliest of silliest questions about what do I fill in this field? What do I do here? As international students, UCL also offers accommodation, and you will get an email that accommodation applications have opened up. My advice over here would be to see if you want to stay in a postgraduate only dorm or you want to stay in a mixed dorm. The options are yours. And if you want to look for off-campus housing as well, like where you rent a house or a flat and you share it with friends, that is also an option. Living in London, you would have multiple different types of accommodations. You just need to find the right fit for you. The advantage of halls and dorms are you get to meet a lot of other students at UCL, not just from your discipline or your field, but from multiple different fields. And it's a great opportunity to make friends, especially if this is the first time that you are going to be going to London or the first time that you're going to be there and you don't really know anyone. Everyone in the building is a college student at UCL studying something from medicine to law to architecture to engineering. Once all of these paperworks and logistics are sorted and you arrive to London and you head to campus. So my absolute favorite place in UCL, the most amazing memory that I have, and in fact, all my memories across the 13 months are at the UCL port. It's a gorgeous thing. So I have a picture there from when I collected my ID. I have a picture there on the day that I submitted my dissertation wearing the UCL t-shirt. I have a picture there from graduation throwing my cap in the air. So I have it all. That place, it feels like a warm hug, even in the UK cold. You'll see people sitting on the stairs, working on assignments. Someone is having a cup of coffee. You have coffee carts around. You walk a little further in, you have your UCL student union. And life at UCL is magical to some extent. It's not just about the classes and the modules, which of course are very, very important because that's what you're there for. It's hard work, it's a lot of effort, but you have your faculty and your peers that you can always reach out to. If there is something that you want to perhaps explore further, connect with the professor to see what research they are doing. Is there something that you can add to? Talk to your peers, maybe not just from your degree. So one of the modules that I took in my master's time, we were randomly paired into groups with people from different degrees, but all who had to do this particular module. So we had someone from like software engineering, someone from machine learning and data science, and information security. So you get to meet people who are in UCL engineering, but doing something different to you. UCL is all about making connections. It's about studying, interacting with your peers, interacting with the faculty, interacting with people who are doing amazing things in all sorts of spaces, in all sorts of walks of life. Like Lucy mentioned, you have an amazing student union. So I joined the UCL Indian Society when I was there. They put up a show. The UCL Hindu Society puts up a dance show, which I was a part of. You are into sports. You have every single sport that you could possibly think of. You could do it from the lens of, oh, I want to learn a new sport. You could also do it as like, oh, I know how to play this sport really well. And you could play competitively with other universities across London and the UK. The sports, the clubs, the activities are also amazing ways to meet people, like-minded people who you perhaps would not meet because they're not studying the same thing as you. So definitely look at the list of what all is there, what all is available. Sign up to a few things, go for tasters. They have taster sessions, free events, go, network, enjoy, see what you like, and then sign up for that one for the whole year. A master's degree is actually really short, and you'll realize that it starts and it ends in the blink of an eye. 13 months literally will fly by, but it's amazing because you would have at the end of it gotten a degree from an amazing, top, highly ranked university. You would have made friends for a lifetime. Friends of mine that I made at UCL, I travel the world with them today. 2 years after completing my degree, they are some of my closest support system. If, like, for example, today I was really, really stressed with all of this flight situation, I called up a friend from my master's being like, this has happened, I'm stressing. And you will form this network of people around you who you'd be able to call in anything, any crisis. The friendships you develop, I genuinely believe, are lifelong friendships over here. And anytime you need anything, and this is where I'm going to like quote something from Harry Potter, if you need any help or any support, all you have to do is ask. Then you will always find an answer. In my case, I decided to move back to Dubai for personal reasons. I wanted to be closer to my family. But if you do decide to stay in London, the UCL careers team will help you navigate that. They'll help you with your CV. You have career events and open days that you can attend. And I know a lot of my friends who found their first job in London through those sessions and through those events. Someone works at Essential, someone works at Sky, someone works at Virgin Media. So people are doing all sorts of things in all sorts of spaces directly related to what they have studied. And of course, the formal education matters, but it's also the other skills that you develop, the experiences of perhaps being by yourself for the first time. This may be the first time that you're leaving your house, leaving your country. So you'll find a new way to travel, a new way to probably use the tube. Like coming from Dubai, where everyone drives everywhere, there's no culture of walking, there's no culture of taking a train. The London tube system, being one of the oldest, most complex systems, takes a while to get used to. But it also tells you, it also kind of future proofs you or future equips you that you can go anywhere now. You know how to do this. If you can do that, why can't you do it elsewhere in a different part of the world? So I think the soft skills that you develop, the confidence, the ability to speak, the ability to take decisions, to be planned, to be organized, it could be a million things under the sun. But I didn't realize it while I was doing my degree. But today, I actually attended an undergraduate friend's wedding last week. And I was meeting some of my undergraduate friends after many, many years. And it was like, they're like, my God, you've changed so much. And I've heard this a lot, especially after my time at UCL, that I've changed, I've grown, I've evolved. And I still truly don't understand that. But I do know it gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, a sense of community, and definitely a feeling of pride. The day you submit your thesis, you will be done and you will be excited. Like in my case, I was waiting for graduation for like many months because we graduated in the summer the next year. I chose my dress, the gown, everything. But now let's go back to life after UCL. So like I said, I moved back to Dubai and I joined a company called Shaluk Group. For those of you who know, it's a multinational company that's based in the Middle East. They are luxury retailers and partners for high-end fashion and beauty brands. So I work in the e-commerce space, working on digital content and compliance training, which focuses a lot on data privacy. How do you stop getting phished? How do you stop spam? Creating spam filters and protections at an organizational level. I work with the brands, the ones that all the malls in Dubai are full of, and their e-commerce platform, and how we can secure gateways and portals, how we can educate the floor people, the teams in the different regions across Saudi, across Oman, even India, on the best security practices and the region-specific security practices as well. It's a great, like, I love what I do. It's directly related to what I studied in a lot of ways, but I also get to interact with, again, different people doing different things. Sometimes you have to work with someone from marketing. Sometimes you're working with learning and development. Sometimes you're working with e-commerce and strategy. But my thing is, whatever you decide to do after UCL, there will be hundreds of opportunities. You just have to grab them. Keep your eye open, talk to people, reach out to alumni. So that's another really, really essential thing. I attended an alumni event for UCL in Delhi back, I think in April, where I met someone who graduated in 1996, I believe. And I was not even born at that time. So you have this community of people who've done so much. They are obviously miles ahead in their career with like 30 years of work experience today. They can help you, they can guide you. I know a case where someone shifted to Dubai after UCL and reached out to the UCL alumni in Dubai. Help just with small things like help to get settled into the city, apartment, housing. The UCL alumni group is constantly buzzing where people are like, hi, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. And in the group, because you have so many different people across all ages, from postgrad and undergrad, you get so much advice and instant help and support if you need it. So I think if you genuinely ask me, I still haven't wrapped my head around UCL as a whole because it's so much. It's amazing. It's an experience of a lifetime. It's a degree from a world-renowned, prestigious university that has visibility wherever you go. A UCL degree is very powerful. Trust me on that one. And if you really want to consider a master's and you want to be in an amazing campus, in an amazing city, meeting amazing people, I really couldn't recommend it anymore. And again, connect with alumni from your course as well. Like, for example, if anyone wants to know more about like UCL Engineering or a particular program, I'm sure you can find people on LinkedIn and everyone is happy to help. And that's the one thing I guarantee. Every UCL alumni will respond to you, will help you in whatever way they know. So take the plunge, go for it. And trust me, you'll come out on the other side completely changed and in love with your time there.
Thanks so much, Shivangi. That was fantastic. It's really, really great to hear about your experience, and actually, really wonderful to hear about the alumni that you met recently. That you said had graduated in 1996. We had an alumni event in Indonesia last month where we had somebody who graduated this year and somebody who graduated in 1976. So we had a really incredible full spectrum of people around. Shivangi, are you okay to come back onto the call just to answer a couple of questions from the audience? If you need to enter because of your
no, I'm definitely here, so don't worry about it.
Brilliant. I think I'll kick off and just say you've talked a little bit about your best memories happening in the quad at UCL, but do you have a particular kind of favorite memory of UCL from your time that you could share with us?
My favorite event at UCL actually. So UCL does this dance show called Rangila. It's a completely student-led society. It's a student-led production where students sign up to be choreographers. People go and sign up for the different acts. We're talking hip hop, classical, jazz, every single dance form under the sun. You can sign up to be a choreographer if that's your forte. You can go try out and then you come together and you put up this amazing event that is fully where this amazing event where your friends, your colleagues, your family, anyone, not just from UCL, from anywhere in London can attend. And all the money that you collect from ticket sales go to a charity that you have chosen. So I think for me, this is one of the core memories of UCL. A bit more simple. So there's a coffee cart by the stairs in the quad. It's just a coffee cart, a very, very basic coffee cart, but they do the most amazing flat white milk. And since I'm lactose intolerant, that was like, whether I had class at 9 a.m. or 2 p.m., I had to just go there and get that cup of coffee. And that's, again, I love it. And in fact, I was in London in the summer and I literally took coffee. And my friends were like, this is not normal. You have cafes all around, but it holds that place for me.
I must say I very much enjoy the coffee on campus. And as part of Sustainable UCL, your default milk is now oat milk, just because they're trying to do their bit for the planet, which I think is wonderful. I was just going to ask, what did you find about the education from your master's program and how that differed from your experience at your bachelor's? Were there changes in the way that it was taught or run? Was it more formal, more informal? If you could tell us a bit about that, that would be great.
Okay, I think the big difference that I noticed personally for me was you have less contact hours. It's a little bit more independent, and that's because you're taking on a massive 3 to 4 month research project in a postgraduate degree. You might do a longer research project if you are in a research degree. And that's very self-driven. At the undergrad level, it's like putting together like an extended essay for like from the IB system, like a double extended essay maybe, since it's about like a 10,000 words. But you're doing like a substantial piece of research. So I think it's very self-guided. Your professor supervising will be there to help, will be there to answer questions. You'll have check-ins with him or her very frequently, like probably on a weekly basis. But you're driving it, you're determining the timeline, you're structuring it, you are doing research, creating something from nothing. You're building on a theory or a thesis. My dissertation was to do with human interact with task managers and locks on different devices, like the Google password, any system that basically uses a password. So I had to work with different students across UCL. You need like ethics approvals. There's a lot of different things that you're just unaware of. So I think it's a bit more independent in that sense. I do think the other thing is you have more free time. And this is a great opportunity to perhaps connect with your professor to see if you can do something else with that. And the other big difference that I noticed was we had a lot of small tutorial groups that were part of the structure. They're not mandatory, but this was something that didn't exist during my undergraduate education, where you kind of, like, for example, you're 40 people in your degree, you'll have 4 tutorial groups. So you'll be a part of one of them, giving you the opportunity to ask the TA or the teaching assistant of that module any questions that you may have. It might be a concept that you didn't understand, and you could just go for the tutorial, ask your questions, get it cleared. So I think it's overall a bit more independent, and you need to take that initiative and drive it because no one's going to drive it for you. So I think that's the big difference over here.
That's great, thank you. I had a question from the audience, which was about thinking back to your personal statement and you drafting that at the time when you were applying. Could you give some advice on how to make the best possible statement in order to make a sort of to be accepted? So what would your advice for personal statements be on top of what we look for from a UCL perspective?
Okay, I think be yourself. Don't try and make up anything. Don't try and pad it with a lot of like fancy words and a lot of like jargon, and just to make yourself seem more like I've done a lot with my life and I'm here and this is going to be amazing. Be yourself. I think this is the one advice that I stand by. Admission officers get hundreds of applications, thousands. They know how to tell a genuine applicant from a non-genuine one. Talk about your experiences. You don't have to talk about 100 of your experiences. Pick the top 1 or top 2 that directly impact you as a person, perhaps even relate to the field that you're studying or you want to study. Keep it simple, keep it clean. Don't have too many frills and layers, and have a clean structure. Like talk about like the way, if I go back and think about my generic structure, and I don't think there's a right structure or a wrong structure. For me, it was talking about why I want to study information security, followed by why UCL, followed by what I have done so far in life, or the work experience and the experiences that I've had, how I can take that and this degree together to do something else. And just honestly be yourself. That's the best advice I have.
I think that's really great advice. We often say, be yourself, don't be a robot, don't use ChatGPT, please. We can tell.
So,
I think being able to be a person. Yeah. It's a good point. I think we like to hear more about the whole person. We know that people are more than just their academic credentials or their work experience, and I think that's a really, really valuable thing to have reflected on. I will ask you one more question and then I will let you go, just because I can, I know you're in an airport, and I thank you so much for joining us. It's such a
Don't
difficult
worry
moment.
about it at all. It's part
What
of the
is
work.
what's the one piece of advice that you would give all of these people considering to apply to UCL Engineering?
The one piece of advice I would give you, don't get overwhelmed. If you do get overwhelmed, breathe. Take a step back. Like, there was a point taking, like, just from my experience, I was struggling to write my personal statement, not knowing what to write, how to structure it, the usual student problems, student life problems. Staring at a blank computer screen for hours on end will drive you crazy. Take a step back, breathe, perhaps go out, meet a friend, watch a movie, do anything. Take a step away from it, come back at it with fresh eyes and a fresh perspective. And when you do that, you will see it'll come together. There will be moments of panic, moments of overwhelm. You need to breathe. You need to relax. You need to tell yourself that it's okay. This is not the end of the world. This is just one step, and do it step by step. Do it gradually. And that's why I say, try to do it in advance or as early as you can. Don't wait for the last minute, because that adds this unnecessary amount of pressure on yourself. So don't be like, okay, the deadline is the 31st of March. I'm going to start on the 20th of March and get everything done in 10 days. Because maybe something happens, you have a personal emergency, you have something that comes up at work or something, and you're just like really stressed and you're not being able to put your best foot forward. So bit by bit, step by step, relax. And if you have a couple of setbacks, it's not a big deal because you started early.
Great advice. Thank you so much. So yeah, all that's left for me to just to say thank you, and good luck to everybody who was on the call with their applications. Shubhangi, it's been really wonderful to hear from you. Great to hear such a wonderful advocate of UCL, and that you're still enjoying all of the UCL community activities that are available to alumni as well. It's brilliant to hear that. And hopefully we will see you again soon. So yeah, good luck everybody. And yeah, any questions you can direct to engineering.srm@ucl.ac.uk. And we will also be ensuring that everyone on this call receives the recording afterwards. So yeah, thank you very much for your time today, and goodbye from us.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. And I apologize once again for the noise.
No apology necessary. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.